What's up, everybody?
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Oh boy, how people be?
Sick, but handling it.
So you don't mean sick like awesome sick, like yo, dude, I'm sick.
No,
No,
not PHAT. Just sick.
wait, that's fat.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, I'm just making sure we're on the same page.
I'm not PHAT. I'm just FAT. Or like Zach Galifianakis, I'm FFATTTT
T T
fat.
T T T. Oh man, how's everybody doing?
I mean, I already answered that. Who's next?
I'm good.
Okay.
Hey, our guest rang in. How's you?
Hey.
We have the one and only Tech Supreme with us tonight on the Bounty Board podcast. What's up, Tech?
What up? Good evening.
I dig your. Oh, you've got our name behind you. Even I love it.
do.
Aww.
It's
Hey,
adorable.
I don't even have that.
a little production value from me.
Production value from the producist. Is that the word?
Producer?
Oh, yeah, that's probably it. You're right.
Tech, it is backwards though, so
It's still backwards.
No, it's backwards to me. I don't know. Is it backwards
it's
to y'all
it's
too?
backwards on the stream.
Yeah, it's gonna be backwards on the stream because. Wait. No, that is weird. Oh, we got a host from Ben. I got excited for a second.
Nope, just me.
I was like, oh shit.
Hey, there it is.
Nice. Well done. Cool.
Nice.
What's-
Yeah. Jack, how's your week been, my dude?
My week has been good. Crazy, busy, all over the place, but good.
Good.
Yeah.
Ryan, your week? I know you had a doctor's appointment this morning. Was that for the old thumb bit?
Yep, the thumb's all good to go. I thought I messed it up on Sunday four-wheeling, but they said I actually helped it along, so it's like, all right, cool, whatever.
That makes absolutely no sense.
So the issue is that the scar tissue is still attached to the tendon in the skin. So what I did is when I messed it up the other day, I ripped the two apart. So they're like, yeah, you just helped the healing process along quicker by getting the scar tissue apart. I was like, all right, cool. Doesn't hurt anymore. So
Alrighty
Did,
then.
did that hurt when you did it?
oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that hurt a bunch.
That seems appropriate. Yeah, I know people. I remember reading this story
I
about a
cried
football
my eyes
player.
out.
Like both of them fell out. I'm confused.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude. I remember reading a story about a football player who had like bone cancer, specifically in his like femur or something like that. And when he got chemo, they had to like direct it at his leg, and like his leg became so like unused that the muscle emaciated and fused to the bone.
Nice.
And then he had to go to like a deep tissue masseuse who like massaged and like basically tore the muscle back off of his bone.
Ish.
And he
Nice.
said it was the worst pain he's ever experienced. So you did a very small version of that.
Mm-hmm.
Just the old thumb muscle.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no thank you.
That's all no good. That's all no good. So it's another episode of Bounty Board. We have Tech guesting with us. We are going to talk about a bunch of stuff, but when we get started, we start with the news, and we have a bunch of news things this week. What do we want to start with? Ben, you added some stuff.
I did.
What did you add? Why don't you give us the rundown on what you added?
There's some pretty big news out there. I think, as far as my generation's concerned, this is probably the biggest one. The creator of the Konami code passed away today.
Yeah, Katsuhisa
Hashimoto.
Hashimoto. Yeah.
And for those too young to know, Contra was a side scroller back in the 80s, and if you put this super long code in before the title screen hit, you got 30 lives. Not infinite lives, just 30 lives, which was required to beat the game, mostly, unless you're a freak and you memorize the whole thing. Who has the code memorized? Anybody? Anybody here in the show?
Oh, I do.
I just cheated because I just looked at it. So I
Oh,
couldn't
you
say. But
bastard.
I actually think I did know it.
You probably did.
I mean,
Up,
it's in
up, down,
pop culture
down,
everywhere.
Up, down, left, right, A, B. Start.
Yeah, I think it's BA start, and it's select start if you want two players. But yeah, and then
It wasn't a Contra code first, though. It was a...
you sure?
Yeah.
Was it,
It was,
I didn't read the article. I just
shit, it was a different Konami game, though. It was a different code first. Gradius.
Okay.
It was a Gradius code, and it gave you all of the pickups, all of the possible pickups at once. So you have
In Gradius, since we're going down a factoid wormhole, Gradius is a mistranslation of gladius, which is an actual type of sword.
Yeah.
But because Japan has a problem with L's and R's, we got the classic Gradius.
Let's keep the fun facts going. You know why they don't say L very well?
Well, it's just not in their language, right?
It's
Not in their-
disrespectful in their culture to show your tongue.
Oh,
So
I
saying
might have
something
heard that
with an
before.
L that shows your tongue, they keep
Wow.
it behind their teeth, so it comes out as R. So it sounds
So-
like an R.
So speaking of that code,
yeah.
if you use it on this, it changes. They have it set up to where it actually changes the sounds and everything inside of it too.
That's cool.
Yeah,
It'd be awesome if
so,
all the sounds turned into Contra sound effects. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, so they. I don't remember what sounds it does, but it does like 10 or 15 different sounds whenever you push different buttons afterwards.
Incredible.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
For a toddler's toy has that. I guess it's pretty cool that they added it.
Kind of like how kids' movies have adult humor for the adults to like not bore themselves to death while watching it. Your kid's toy,
Absolutely.
if a kid,
Yeah.
if a parent picks it up, can like, oh, I wonder if this works, and when it does, they're probably like,
Oh shit!
damn, that's
Yeah,
cool as fuck.
Google had it for a while. I think Facebook had it for a while. Like just websites where you just if you put it in on the website, something happens.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a running joke for a long time.
Yeah. To this day, I love playing with like some of Google's built-in little tricks. Like if you do a Google search and you type in "do a barrel roll," the whole screen
Nice.
rolls.
Twitch does it on their dashboard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's-
Twitch has something like that you can actually get to more settings on your dashboard by doing the
You
cheat
guys
code.
know what do a barrel roll is in reference to?
Star Fox.
No. Ninja
Star
Turtles.
Star Fox. And then the other story, keeping it moving. I thought we could give. This is Ryan's Warframe, basically. So Arc Genesis, Ryan,
Yeah.
trailer dropped today.
It's the new map that dropped yesterday.
Okay.
It was supposed to.
Big
It's what. It was,
Shitari worms flying through the sky.
It's
yeah.
very sci-fi. Even the
I
even the
haven't
Genesis
seen him
title.
yet. I haven't seen him in game yet. But yeah, this was supposed to drop back in December,
Okay.
and then it was supposed to drop in January, and then it's supposed to drop February 25th, and then it didn't get dropped till the 26th, so this morning. But they did a lot of damage control, and the new map's actually pretty cool. It changes up entirely what the game is about. They usually have like loot drops that show up and everything now, but now it's got missions and quests, and you can earn in-game currency to actually buy things to further yourself along in the game. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, they went with the lunar. They have like a lunar portion where it's like in space, but it's all on the same map. It's kind of weird, but how they put it all together. But it's pretty cool. I'm actually getting ready to start up a server tomorrow. I'm reformatting my PC right now for tomorrow, so I can start my server up. So
Yeah, nice.
it's gonna be cool.
Yeah, awesome. What's your dog killing behind your green screen?
Well, first it was this, and now it's a bone filled or a ball filled with treats. So
I kicked my dogs out of the studio just for this because if
Oh.
not, they'd be barking and fighting the entire time.
I think Ryan thought his green screen was soundproof.
Yeah.
no, my dog usually sleeps when we do this. So
He's just trying to find his bones so he can occupy himself.
So that's it for what I added.
That's it for what you added. Okay, dope.
Yeah.
There was some interesting news that came this week, and I don't know how I feel about it. And so I felt like that would be an interesting thing to have a discussion about. Eli Roth, who was announced, is going to direct a Borderlands movie.
Yep. He hasn't directed very many things. He's produced a
he's
shitload.
produced a shit ton. But the things he's directed have been, by and large, horror.
Yeah.
And in many cases, very, very brutal, very violent horror.
Right. Yeah. Hostile.
Green. Have you guys seen Green Inferno?
No.
Don't.
No.
Don't watch it.
Just
I
don't
got-
watch it.
I got about 45 minutes into it, and I was like, I don't need this. Like, that's literally the thought that crossed my mind. Not like,
But you
I don't
also
like this. I don't need
abstain
this.
from horror in general.
not all horror. I abstain from spiritual horror. I watch monster horror all the time.
Okay.
Pandorum and Aliens and I've watched horror movies that are. I have a problem with spiritual horror. Okay, it fucks with me differently.
Sure.
Yeah.
Ooh, this should be hidden different.
Oh boy.
TikTok runs my life. I said a ruin.
The writer for Borderlands is doing another G.I. Joe thing, and that's it. Like, there's no. Yeah, this is, I don't know. This might be his first thing. Maybe we're too early in production for them to have a real writer listed. But the only other name they've got for this Borderlands.
No, I mean, writer listed.
But there's not. No, I'm saying there's nothing. He has no filmography.
Sure.
So like that's what I'm saying. Like he might be a real writer, but he's not done anything before. So I don't know. Don't you have to be credited to be? I don't know. Anyway,
I feel like this should be a show more than a movie.
Probably.
I don't think you could. I don't think you could pack the Borderlands experience into a movie. Like I feel like you'd need a few seasons of like showing stuff that's like in between the games or that kind of thing, or maybe what's after Borderlands 3.
Hold on.
Because by now people have beat it.
This says it's based on a script from Craig Mazin, the writer behind The Hangover Part 2 and HBO's Chernobyl. That's not nothing.
How the fuck does Hangover Part 2 have anything to do with Chernobyl?
Man, dude, like that's one of the things that you realize in Hollywood is that the writers write all sorts of shit. And that was something we said about like the first and second Ant-Man, is we were like, man, this movie's being directed by someone who did My Bloody Valentine or something stupid like that.
I don't even know if I saw Hangover Part 2. Was it worth it?
And the Hangover Part 2 comedy would be good for the Borderlands. Because they're talking about dicks all day on Borderlands. So,
but did you die? Though? That dude.
I think Hangover 3 was terrible. I think Hangover 2 was pretty good though.
And Chernobyl was incredible.
It just felt like remixes of Hangover 1, like both of them.
And guys,
it was just a different scenario.
And pre-sequels just feel like remixes of Borderlands 1. So.
But Eli Roth did Knock Knock, and that's a good movie.
I haven't seen Knock Knock.
Keanu Reeves. Yeah, it's a really good movie.
It's Keanu Reeves when those two girls come over, right?
Oh yeah.
Was that movie good?
I liked it.
All right.
I mean, I didn't go to the theater to see it. I don't think.
Sure.
But I liked it.
Yeah, I don't think not going to the theater to see something is as bad of an indictment as it used to be. Back in the day, it was like I would see that in theaters. People were like, "Damn."
I'll wait for it to come out on DVD.
DVD.
There are people.
Now it comes out in like 2 weeks after the movie, on DVD.
People,
like, oh, okay.
There are people who still do that and think it has the same weight. I don't appreciate them. Oh, I'll wait for it to be on DVD. I'm like, it's not even a big fucking deal anymore.
Wait for
DVD.
Also, what's the fucking DVD? Why do you have? Why do you do this when you mean phone? Why? My mom shared a dry bar comedy stand-up where a guy talked about that, and it felt like a boomer just like shouting at like a cloud. Old man shouts at cloud. You do not understand what I'm going through. All right, so Xbox. Last week I tried to have like Xbox's games with gold announcements.
Yeah, we failed at that.
And I realized after the fact that they weren't in the thing I was reading. They're out now, and so I can actually tell you that the games with gold that we're getting in March are Batman: The Enemy Within, which is the Telltale animated series. It's on Game Pass right now, so if you don't have Game Pass, now you can get it. Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2, which is the sequel of the Devil May Cry style Castlevania games.
Yeah, I don't think I beat the second one. So this would be a good reason to get through it.
Yeah. We're getting Shantae Half Genie Hero, which is it's like a long-running series, apparently. People have a lot
gotta follow me.
Yeah, people have a lot of ties to Shantae. And then Sonic Generations, which, of the Sonics we've gotten recently, it's one of the better ones.
Sonic Generations was fucking great.
Yeah.
I love this game. It's like you take the best from the side-scroller universe, you take the best from the 3D universe, and you put it into one game. I'll play the whole thing over again. Generations was awesome.
You won't.
But I probably
kidding.
Ryan's
I probably
like, but you won't though.
I would if it only took a couple nights. You know, it's not a big game.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
It's not like playing through Witcher 3 again or something.
Sure.
Yeah.
We
Well,
also
if you're talking about deals, Borderlands 3 Super Deluxe Edition's 50% off right now.
yep.
Instead of $100, it's $50.
Yeah, Epic Game Store is doing a bunch of sales. On top of Borderlands, they also have a bunch of Ubisoft titles that are on sale. I think Ubisoft titles might be on sale across the board.
And EA for the next
And
like 2 more
EA
days or
as
another
well.
day.
Yeah. The Ubisoft ones are on sale until like March 7th or 9th. And I was like, oh, okay, dope.
Yeah, Tech bought Titanfall 2 for $5.
Yeah.
I bought Anthem for $8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to diddle it a little bit before they change it. You know, so I can really so I can really recognize what changes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Tech, have you not played Titanfall 2 at all?
No.
Damn.
Played a lot of Titanfall 1, but kind of was focused on something else when Titanfall 2 came out.
Yeah.
Women.
No, probably Battlefield 1. Titanfall instead of women. Titanfall was wedged between Battlefield and Call of Duty, which is why it kind of got overlooked. Yo, that game's campaign is one of the best first-person shooter campaigns I've played in a minute.
Yep, it's very good.
It's real good, and the
I'm
multiplayer
excited.
is insane.
With my Apex Legends obsession, I'm excited to go back because everything is like going to be lore for me. So I'm
Right.
excited to play it.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Who
true.
knows what kind of details they've got hidden in those other games? You know.
Yeah, I mean,
Sure.
yeah.
Sure. We also know PlayStation Plus's games of the month for March. If you have PlayStation Plus, you're getting, again, a Sonic game, Sonic Forces, which is not nearly as good as Sonic Generations, and Shadow of the Colossus, which is fucking dope. So if you haven't played Shadow of the
What's Games
Colossus...
of Plus?
Huh?
That's what you say it was? How Shadow?
PlayStation Plus. Games of PlayStation
Nice.
Plus.
I might
Shadow of the
sign up.
Colossus and
Just
Sonic Forces.
I might turn that back on just for Shadow of the Colossus.
I have that on all the time. It
I
renews
stopped
on
it for a
Christmas
while.
Day.
Yeah.
Actually. But I keep it because if you don't have PlayStation Plus, PlayStation doesn't cloud save automatically.
Right.
And I have 2 systems in my house, and I play between them. And so if I'm going to have those cloud saves, I got to have Plus, which is fucking dumb because Xbox is just like, hold up, we'll get your info from that other place real quick.
Right.
Also, if you don't have PlayStation Plus and your system dies, you lose everything. And if you have an Xbox, it saves to the cloud automatically. So if your system dies, you just get a new one and it re-downloads all your
Right.
saves.
Smart.
It's so smart. Speaking of Xbox and their differences with PlayStation, the Series X has given us a bunch of more... Wow, I stumbled through that. Has given us a bunch more news about what the system's going to contain. Did you guys see this post a couple days ago?
Yeah, I didn't ever dig up any real statistics or anything. All I saw was teraflops. I still don't know what that is.
12 teraflops.
12 teraflops. That's when you're in teraflops.
I actually didn't think this article was needed. Like, Xbox Series X allows backwards compatible accessories. I assume that would happen if the controllers are going to work.
Yeah.
Everything else should sync up just the same. Wireless headsets, everything like that. It should all be. You would assume that they're going to do that, and saying that you can keep your old system because the games are backwards compatible too. So.
Did you see Cyberpunk announcing forward compatibility?
Yeah.
So if you buy the game for Xbox One, and you upgrade to the Series X, it's the same game. It upgrades to X for you, so you don't have to buy the game again.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Forward compatibility. That's the first ever, I think. That's awesome.
So yeah, that's called smart
just-
delivery. And that's the biggest news I think out of the whole day. Smart delivery is Xbox. Microsoft says it will help consumers know that they're always getting the correct version of their favorite games for whatever Xbox console they're playing on. Essentially, they say right now if you purchase Gears 5, you have access to the game on Xbox One and PC. Smart delivery will extend that sort of access across console generations. It also eases the frustration among consumers who are trying to navigate the transition that's on the horizon. So yeah, if you buy Cyberpunk on the Xbox One, you have Cyberpunk on the Xbox One Series X, which
Which should be automatic.
Yeah.
That's something that we've been had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember Vice's headline was like, Xbox finally includes feature. It's the Vice headline was very funny. It basically calling people out for buying the same game over and over and over again when we don't need to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I think most of this, I think I agree with Ryan. Most of this was like, I figured this stuff, but PlayStation's been extremely quiet. And so
Yeah, they have.
Xbox being like, all right, here's more details. And PlayStation not responding with anything.
They're
Feels
trying to
like
look at the cheat
PlayStation's-
sheet so they know what to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It feels like PlayStation's like, oh shit, we need to do that. We need to do that real quick. Hurry,
Yeah.
somebody go do that.
I hope Xbox keeps one thing under wraps. So when PlayStation puts their stuff out, Xbox is like, bam, kept this one. So you showed me everything you got, and we have this extra thing.
Yeah. The Vice headline was Cyberpunk 2077 and how we all got conned into endlessly rebuying games. And then the subtitle is going forward, Microsoft only wants you to buy one copy of a video game, which is how it should have been all along.
Mm-hmm.
So the 12 teraflops is twice what an Xbox One is and 8 times what the original Xbox was. A teraflop, unlike gigahertz, measures the processor speed. So when you go buy a processor, you're buying a processor for your computer, and you're getting a 3 point whatever gigahertz. That's the processor speed. A teraflop is direct mathematical measurement of a computer's performance. Specifically, a teraflop refers to the compatibility of a processor to calculate 1 trillion floating point operations per second. Saying something has 6 teraflops, for example, means the processor setup capable of handling 6 trillion floating point calculations for every second, on average. So 12 teraflops is 12 million floating point calculations.
Ooh.
Apple's 16-inch MacBook Pro tops out at 4 teraflops, while the redesigned MacBook Pro can reach up to 56 teraflops of power. So, it's stronger than a laptop, but way slower than a computer. But, whatever.
I mean, there's no way to make it equal.
No, but it's also not running an operating system either.
It's true.
Yeah.
So, it doesn't have to backlog a Chrome.
I don't have to fight Chrome and Windows OS. So,
Right.
yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know what teraflop. I don't think anybody. Not anybody. I don't think most people knew what teraflops meant. So
Now 4
hearing
people
that
do.
number over and over. Yeah, now 4 plus 3. Whoever's watching, unless all of y'all are watching the stream, and then it's just an echo chamber. It's fine. Most people don't know what teraflops are. So now I do know, and that's good. I appreciate that bit of knowledge. We've got like 3 Smurf facts so far this episode, and we're not
Yep.
even to the Smurf fact section. So
You're
the
welcome.
bar is pretty high. What next? Well, I'll do this. Well, I guess there's 2. There's 2 that can lead into our topic. So the first one is the rumor that Marvel is tabling the thought of buying DC from Warner Brothers.
Tabling typically means like putting it away.
Yep,
Not gonna
you're
do
right.
it.
You're right. Marvel is
Brought to the
Bringing
table.
it to the table.
Brought it to the table.
yes. Yes. Marvel is considering buying DC comics from
Do
AT&T.
you have any other sources besides, was it the one that you mentioned, the comic book, whatever, that one link, which
Let's
I don't
see.
trust?
I'm trying to see if there's a couple more.
I'll just say that if that's true, that's a terrible idea.
Why?
I need it to be separate.
Well, why do you think they wouldn't be separate?
I mean, I don't know. I just don't like when one company controls a lot. Like people complain about Disney controlling so many companies. I just wouldn't want that. I don't know. I always view them as competition.
I have always fought Disney owning everything because so far they have a great track record. But, like all the movies they make are pretty great so far. I mean, you might dislike Star Wars, but it's not shit, right? So, I don't want Marvel. I don't want Disney to own Marvel and DC. That's so icky.
Yeah,
That's
it's too
so
much.
weird to me.
That's monopolies. Type.
And I
Yeah.
understand, they can't compete. Like, how the fuck do you compete with Disney, right? If Disney owns Marvel, how does DC hold it? How do you hold a candle to that? That unlimited money. How is DC ever going to keep up?
It's literally
So-
David
so-
versus Goliath at this point.
So how is DC ever going to keep up if they stay separate?
Right.
Wouldn't it then make sense for them to join?
Just be part of the symbiote.
I don't know,
Yeah.
man. It just doesn't seem like that's like it would be good for DC. I don't think it would be. I think like
See, the
them
way I
being
see
unique,
it, yeah.
them being different. I mean, that's what I like about DC movies. I like DC movies. I'm that oddball man that just I liked Batman versus Superman.
See,
Fuck me, right?
the way I see it is like Xbox buying up studios. All the studios don't become.
What if Microsoft bought Sony PlayStation? That would not, like that wouldn't make sense to you.
Can you imagine not having to split between two consoles and all
I don't
games
want to.
coming to one place? And not having to worry about cross-platform because it's just a platform?
I like Sony for different reasons.
Like what?
Like I like PlayStation 4 for different reasons. I like the interface. I like the controller. I like the fact that it's different. I like the
Yeah.
fact that I have both.
Sure. But I don't see why if Xbox bought fucking Ninja Theory and they bought Obsidian, right? They both like making RPGs. Their RPGs are not going to start looking the same. They allow them to have autonomy while having the funding to do what they'd like to do that they couldn't do on their own. And that's very much what happened with Disney and Marvel. Marvel was kind of floundering and not making very good movies and loaning their properties out to people, and they're still trying to get those properties back.
Counterpoint: Kevin Feige, who did so well with the MCU, is now in charge of the Marvel Comics division.
Yep.
So I wouldn't call that autonomous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they could just put him in charge of DC
Right.
as soon as it comes over, and now it's the same.
And I'm
It's
not
the same
saying
view.
They should do that. I'm saying if they're smart, if this did happen, they would let someone else run DC and let them run each other independently. And if they wanted to work together on like a Marvel versus DC fighting game, which NetherRealm has why am I having such a hard time coming up with the word I'm trying to say?
Because you sound sick.
They've expressed interest. NetherRealm, the guys who make Mortal Kombat and Injustice, are like, yo, let us make Marvel versus DC. Why? I don't know, man. It feels like it would be dope to me if you had just a parent company that's like, here, y'all have money and can run yourselves, and like
That's not how it
build
usually
up your
ends
own
up.
Kevin Feige. But Disney isn't running Marvel the way people feared they were. Disney bought Marvel, and Marvel was allowed to run themselves with like.
I think we're still early in that transition, to be honest.
Are we saying that Disney doesn't have a say in it? Because they do.
No, I'm not saying that.
I still think we're early in that process, Caleb, to be honest. I think it's still whatever. If Disney made any changes, I think we haven't seen them yet.
It's been 10 years. What do you
I mean,
we haven't seen them yet?
Avengers, the first Avengers,
It's
super
been
colorful.
like 14 years since Marvel was bought by Disney.
Really?
It's been 10 years.
10 years.
Or 11.
Never mind.
If my memory serves correctly.
Yeah. August 31st, 2009 for $4.24 billion.
My memory serves me correctly.
So
What if Microsoft bought Apple? Like that's how this seems to me. Like two competitors. I don't want one to buy the other. Like I don't. I want it to be competition.
Yeah.
You lose a lot when there's no competition.
Zing in the chat says as long as Marvel keeps making over $1 billion per movie, Disney's not going to get in the way.
Right.
Can you imagine though? The reason I'm fantasizing about this is like DC getting enough funding to put together a universe and to like have
Do you
the
think money's
freedom.
Money's not a problem.
Do you think money's a problem right now for
It's
DC?
not.
Y'all, have you read any of the issues that Warner's going through right now with Disney? They're actively shearing people and canceling projects because AT&T doesn't want to keep funding DC because it's too expensive for them. So yes, literally, I do believe it's money.
So the budget for Justice League was $300 million, and it made $657. Now that's the movie, not the books. I know the comic industry is expensive. I get that.
But Justice League only made twice of what it was funded with. How much money went?
In no universe is $657 million box office a bad statistic.
Yeah.
It's an amazing number.
That's not a flop. 50% return is not a flop.
But it's not 50%.
It's 200%.
It's not the net. It's not the net. What you see that it earned is not what the movie made back to the people who made it. Because you have to pay stars and you have to pay the cast and the crew and you have to that's not just how that stuff pans
So
out.
that's not in the 300 million?
You need to make like 2 or 3 times. You need to make like 3 or 4 times more than the movie was funded at to be considered.
Well, it is 2 times. It is 2 times. It's not 3 times.
You have to make more than double the budget for the movie to break even, because you have to think about marketing and licensing and the fees they have to pay to the places that they do it. Like, a movie has to more than double its funding to break even. So 657 million is not great. And if an Avengers movie came out,
657.
That's what I said. 657 million. And if an Avengers movie came out and made that little, people would be losing their fucking minds. Endgame came out and made $6 billion. So, like, yeah, 657 sounds like a flop to me, y'all.
The top 25 all made over $1 billion. This is more than halfway to $1 billion.
Did you say Endgame made that much? You're talking about Endgame, which is the final movie of a 10-year spree of having great movies.
Yeah.
That better make that much money. And then we're talking about Justice League that has like a 2 or 3 movie build-up, and I haven't seen it, but I've heard it was terrible.
No.
So I mean,
it wasn't.
Here's the thing though. Even if the movie you quoted only made 50% profit, the other movies like Wonder Woman is gonna make up for that, and they're gonna take that money to make more movies. So like you can't even think of it as one movie. You kind of have to think of it as the whole thing.
Damn,
It's
the first
same thing with the record industry.
$5 billion.
Yeah, but I don't.
What was Tech saying about the music industry though? What?
Well, no, it's the same thing with the music industry. Like you won't just consider like one project, but you consider all the projects. So Jay-Z's second album probably funded Nas, like whoever else is on Def Jam's projects. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Kind of work the same way with movies, and they had successful movies. They Aquaman made 1.1 billion worldwide.
Damn.
So
yeah,
and this is with only $160 million budget. So they don't need. I don't think they need to get bought out, but especially by.
But I mean, comics. We're talking about movies. We're not really staying on topic per se. Comics is a fucking tricky business that revolves around paying people as little as possible, and you're selling $4 floppy issues. You're selling a $5 product. You know, like what other thing in your life do you get to enjoy at $5 a piece? A single episode of a TV show? Right? You buy a single episode off Apple or Amazon for $5. But like $5 for a comic book is crazy. And that's all DC has to go on, unless you count trade sales, which are 10, 15, 20 bucks if you wait for the graphic novel to come out, right?
Yeah.
So that's tricky as shit. An entire industry trying to stay afloat on $4 and $5 single issues. That sounds daunting as hell. Especially when who the fuck goes to a comic shop anymore, right? You just wait for the movie to come out, or you wait for the trade. So
yeah, even with the comic books, I mean, I can see how it makes sense with the comic books. You know, like they know, like, but how good is Marvel doing on comics? Like, is that? Do you guys know?
I researched it lately. It took a dip a few years back, but it is still climbing. It's not a fucking glamorous statistic. You know, I don't want to hold things up by me trying to find this shit, but
what I'm finding is that movie studios generally taking about 50 to 55% of the box office. So if a movie makes 657 million, the studio made 323.
Okay.
So if you make a movie and you break even on it, that's not a success.
Oh, okay. But they didn't.
They didn't break even.
Yeah.
They doubled it.
No, they didn't.
The Incredible Hulk only made 263 million.
Yeah.
That might have been a flop.
Yeah, that was Universal too, right? Isn't that where
Total box office sales for all MCUs $10.9 billion.
Yikes!
Yeah, that's insane.
You said the total box office for the MCU?
Total box
Is
office
that
over 10
U.S.
billion.
or international?
Or worldwide, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think the total for DC is 5.4 billion.
It's not nothing.
It's
Yeah.
not nothing.
That's billions, guys. That's big numbers.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It feels. I'm worried for DC because AT&T is talking about shearing a lot of it.
Fun fact: I didn't know AT&T was funding.
I didn't.
Yeah,
didn't either.
so AT&T and Time Warner are like together, and the Warner Brothers is Time Warner, and Warner Brothers manages DC. So,
That sounds like some of the problem.
yeah, well,
I don't know. As much as AT&T charges for internet, I mean, they should be doing fine. They should fund everything. You want 5 gigs? $60. Wait, what? Or 5 megabytes download speed? $60. Like, no, thank you. They used to do that for a while.
I wonder what the cost of sustaining their own internet is, though. You know?
I would just want see. Almighty Zing says got to go down that parent company rabbit hole. I don't mind them having a parent company. I just don't want it to be the direct competition.
Yeah.
Like, and that's my problem.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's weird.
Like it's you want the competition of you don't know what they're gonna make next, and Disney's just like, well, I know what we're making because we have both. Like
Yeah,
we want to drop the bomb on Marvel and be like, this is what we got.
And what
like,
what if Marvel buys DC and tanks DC because that is their competition?
Right.
Well, they wouldn't do that.
why would you buy something and then make it fail?
Well, yeah,
That's
yeah,
a
yeah,
bad
well,
investment.
Companies do that. Companies 100% do that.
Yep.
Yeah, but not in that market. I don't think they would do it just like the comic book market would. Like they would need that.
Just kill Batman
Like, yeah.
franchise.
Right.
Don't you think the DC movie or the Marvel movies?
Captain America comes in and breaks Batman's back, throws him down a well, and that's the end of the movie.
Don't you think Marvel could stand to benefit from DC doing better?
No, I don't know. I don't think they care.
Competition breeds success, right? Like, if DC starts putting together movies that are doing well and are doing things that Disney's not, Marvel's not, then Marvel has to step up their game. Right now, Marvel's setting the pace and DC's trying to catch up.
I mean, I'm sure Marvel's happy about that, and DC's unhappy about that. So why would Marvel be happy that they start winning?
I think at this point DC can't catch up. It would take a monster of a movie to gain 10 steps.
I mean, Aquaman was pretty big.
I think
They'd be 10 steps behind still.
Aquaman was pretty big.
if they doubled down on their universe and stuck with their decisions, then I think they would have a chance. Understanding that they're still in year 4 or 5 of making movies, and Marvel's 10, 11. So it's not their chapter is way earlier than Marvel's. And if they double down and start making decisions with that connected universe in mind, I feel like they would have winning movies. They should not be switching out Batman. They should not be switching out Joker. So on.
Yeah.
Right.
And then using Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie is just money grabs. They're just doing money grabs. Wonder Woman movies is a money grab to me, because you're not dedicated to your universe. So was it Gal Gadot? Is she going to meet Robert Pattinson's Batman? Is that where he's going to act like Ben Affleck didn't exist? You know?
Right. Yeah.
Like I would love if they were just like, yeah, that's what's gonna happen. Ben Affleck's Batman didn't exist. We're moving on from here, because like that they have to. They can't go back in time and get Ben Affleck back. He's already said, "Fuck this ship. I'm sailing away." Like you can't go backwards.
Yeah.
They definitely desperately need a Kevin Feige. You know, they desperately need someone to just reel it all in and set it in motion, set in stone, and come up with a 10-year plan. Because even if Marvel didn't do a 10-year plan, they make it look like they did.
Yeah.
I tried researching
Go ahead.
some statistics on Marvel versus DC Comics. It's fucking nebulous as far as like the comics industry and who's worth what and what the business spends to stay afloat and all that. It's a deep dive. I don't know. It's hard to find. I found one link with some shady statistics that said their companies are roughly the same value, but I don't believe that. But like the comic side of it. But anyway, so it's nebulous. It's hard to know. It's hard to search Marvel vs. DC without finding a bunch of neck bearded mouth breathers comparing movies. So, you know, that's the whole internet right now.
So, former DC artist Ethan Van Sciver said this about the current state of DC right now. And this is, I think, important actually, because it's kind of worrisome. So, like, Dan Didio, I don't know how you pronounce his last name. Didio got fired
he just left
this week.
I thought he left.
It's hard to tell.
Interesting.
It's widely reported that Didio was fired by AT&T as part of a large-scale restructuring, and it's believed that the corporation decided to let Didio go over concerns surrounding his Generation 5 relaunch event. So Ethan Van Sciver said, I was talking to some of the higher-ups at DC Comics who said that if 5G, Generation 5, doesn't work out, AT&T is strongly considering closing the publishing arm of DC Comics.
Wow.
That's heavy.
Like, what?
Yep.
Like, what does that mean?
The next sentence after that is, so this is ball game.
Well, I'd also believe that if
Share the link for that.
I don't know, they wouldn't. There's no way they could. And
You
if
can't
they
just
did,
stop making Batman comics.
Yeah, and if they did, someone would try to buy them out of it.
Step in and
Yeah.
like
Right.
Disney.
So, an additional rumor states that if AT&T does close down DC Comics, then they could put it up for sale. Maybe even offering it to other studios to buy it up.
What happened to Marvel a long time ago?
Yeah,
Somebody
Disney
scooped
bought
them
it.
up. They went bankrupt. Yeah. So, where's that?
I think
link?
Disney would overpay just to get it if they wanted to. If they wanted to be able to have both. If they were selling it for, I'm just gonna throw a number. Like if they were selling for $1 billion, Disney would be like, "Here's $3 billion. Just let me have it." So I'm not trying to fight people for this.
Right.
Let me take it over.
Yeah, that's we was talking about that earlier. This is the reason why Sony owns Spider-Man and Fox had X-Men and Universal has Hulk. Is because Marvel was dying like this once. And we're still dealing with it now. We can't have a full Marvel universe with a Hulk movie and we're fighting over Spider-Man staying in the MCU all because Marvel had to do this. And I don't want to see DC fall down that route. So if you don't want Marvel to pick them up, like who could, that you have confidence in their ability to allow the people that are a part of it to maintain their creativity. Brian Michael Bendis was still largely responsible for Spider-Man coming to light the way he did in the MCU, and he was thanked in both of the films. Because Brian Michael Bendis was a big contributor to Spider-Man's storyline during the time that he was being made into the movies.
Do we have to have a connected universe? Could they not sell the licenses to the DC characters and have one-off movies? Like, do we have to have it?
We're having one-off movies now, and y'all been complaining about it.
Because they tried.
But they're not anymore, and y'all still complaining. Stop
Because they're
changing
still
out
trying to
Joker. Who's this Batman? Am I supposed to? Is he going to be Gal
half-assed.
Gadot? Like, no, maybe they're standalone.
Okay, but they seem like they're trying to do a connected universe, even with the Bird
Does
of
it
Prey.
still feel like they're trying?
Yes. Have you seen Bird of Prey?
No.
Yeah, they're still trying. They're still talking about these other characters.
But I mean, they're in the same universe, so like, how do you have a Joker movie without mentioning Batman? You might not be mentioning Ben Affleck, but you have to mention Batman. It's Joker.
Joker didn't.
It did actually. He went to Wayne Manor.
It doesn't mention Batman.
But come on, he went to he smushed little Wayne's face through the gate. Like he interacted with Bruce. Spoiler.
Yeah.
So so I mean, come on, you got to. So Birds of Prey might have mentioned Gotham City or something in the background, or Bruce Wayne. Like it's that universe. It's just not
the Netflix Marvel shows. Vaguely
It's just not the Zack Snyder verse.
Yeah.
There's a post-credit scene that alludes to more, of the universe being connected in the end of Bird of Prey.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you doing that? Stop pump faking a universe.
What if at the end of Wonder Woman 84, that she goes to Gotham and meets another kid, Bruce. And in this Batman movie we're getting, which takes place in the fucking 90s, he remembers meeting fucking Wonder Woman. What if this is them starting over? What if Joker's like, there's little kid Bruce, and Wonder Woman's like, here's fucking Bruce's parents getting killed.
Yeah.
And then...
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like... Well, you think they'd be able to keep that secret if that's what they're really trying to do?
I doubt it. I just kind of feel like DC movies are like the X-Men movies to me. Like,
Man, I remember when Days of Future Past came out, and I was like... Not Days of Future Past, First Class. First Class came out, and I was like, yo, X-Men got their shit together. It's going to be good.
Yeah, that created some groundswell. People really liked that movie. And Days of Future Past wasn't bad either. That felt really good.
They definitely got better.
Yeah.
Like what they were trying to do.
And then they did
Bishop?
Apocalypse, and everyone was like...
Bishop was so cold. It was, man, that shit was great. But yeah, Apocalypse is poopy. It wasn't awful, actually. But it wasn't great. But it didn't deserve the shit that it got.
Yeah, it wasn't trash. Like
it wasn't at all. It was.
Everyone just called it trash. It wasn't trash.
Yeah, trash next. No, it wasn't. Come on.
Fucking people.
God.
Dude. Fucking people, dude. They're the worst.
And hey, the Phoenix movie was pretty good.
It was?
I haven't seen that one.
That one I didn't catch.
Oh, you got serious? That was like it was the final one, but it was really good. It was. I thought it was really good.
All right.
Wait, hold on.
I know you were
not calling you out, but have you seen it twice?
Yeah, I bought it.
Okay, all right. Because your Hellboy opinion changed on your second viewing. So.
It did. But I bought Hellboy on sale, so.
Right.
Wait, you watched Hellboy again recently?
Yeah, I bought it. It was like $9.
Is bad?
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. It's really bad.
It's bad? Yes. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. That sucks. Oh, I still haven't seen it. I want to, and I like David Harbour, but...
No, I was watching it. Something struck me really wrong, and I tweeted about it. And then 30 seconds later, I was like, oh, that's worth a tweet too. And I just live tweeted the rest of the movie. I was fucking floored by all the weird decisions it was making, the funky ass script, the editing. Oh man, it just tore me up. I couldn't.
It sucked because it has such good actors in it, and the graphics of the movie, actual like visual,
the effects are beautiful.
Amazing.
It had Mia Jovovich in it, didn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
She's great.
Yep. Yeah, the opening moments were solid.
The dude who plays Hellboy's father, I forget his name.
Ian
Amazing.
McShane.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, I think David Harbour did great. It just wasn't a bad movie.
Yeah.
And if it was Harbour would have been great in a Del Toro movie or whoever else. But this movie wasn't it. Hold on. I think what was it 2018? Right, Hellboy. 2019. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I want to look up who wrote it because it made a lot of sense when you find out who wrote it. And I hate to be that guy, but I am that guy. So here we go. Come on, damn it. See, where's the crew? Who wrote this masterpiece? Sorry, this is dead. Okay, hold on.
Gotta go faster than that, dude.
Where is it? I feel like an idiot.
Screenplay by Andrew.
Oh, there we go. Sorry, yes, Andrew Crosby.
Tech had it pulled up, still waiting on him.
Yeah.
You ready yet?
So he wrote some episodes. He wrote 77 episodes of Eureka, the TV show Eureka, and a show called Haunted, and that's it.
I mean, he's worked at Malibu Comics, Dark Horse Comics, Stranger Comics. So he has some writing experience, and that's what he was there for to write. So
I wish I could break down. I wish I
shit.
could address adequately Ben's immediate conflation with like I don't know anything you've written and you are a bad writer. I hate it. I don't know how to give you facts that like you're Ben's like go to with a movie being bad is like, oh, my writer must have been bad. What has he made? Oh, something I hated. It's bad. That's why, because he's a bad writer. And I don't think that's the case.
No,
I don't think that's the case. Because if you look at, and I'm pulling some stuff up now, there are movies that are good that were written by people that didn't do shit before. And like, I don't think that your last movie is a pure indication, or the shows that you've done. Everyone starts somewhere, and very few people start in good places. They start in shit shows.
All right. So, Endgame 3 is being directed by Yu Boll.
Okay.
Do you know who that is?
Yeah, I know who Uwe Boll is.
And how you feel about that?
That's a director. He's got a
Uh-huh.
lot more power than a writer.
Uh-huh. You okay with that fact?
I have no idea who that is.
But this feels strangely non
He's
secular.
he's a widely accepted, classically awful director. Everything he's done is bad. But you're saying because his track record's bad is no indication of his future.
No, it's not
production.
even the track record that's bad that you're pointing out. It's either something you didn't like or it's something you don't know. You did it a second ago when you were talking about help me out, guys. He was talking about something earlier, and he was like, the Borderlands movie. He was like, I don't
Yeah.
know, this guy doesn't written anything, so that's gonna be great. And then you find out he made Chernobyl, and you're like, oh,
I mean,
actually, like,
You're being a reductionist to a degree. I don't mind it being like his first thing. Obviously, you know that's where the District 9 guy started, right? That was his first thing too. So came out the gate blazing, right? But there was another movie besides Hellboy I looked up recently, and that the guy that wrote it had actually had nothing but shite before it, and it made sense that I'll try to remember what that was, but yeah. Anyway, so I think if you look at a movie and you look who's making it, you look who's writing it, you have a good indication of what's coming.
I think that happens with writers that have established themselves. With writers who have not, you cannot know what's coming.
All right. Well, the writer for Hellboy just established himself, so he's well on his way.
Sure,
Right.
sure.
So far we're 1-for-1. Let's move on, I guess.
The other thing that we wanted to talk about was Marvel's announcement of the High Order era and how that is the next phase. That is Star Wars Phase 2 for Disney.
Marvel announced that.
Disney. Sorry.
Okay.
Fuck, Ryan.
Go,
Fuck.
move on.
I mean, they might make comics of it, but go ahead.
But Disney's, yeah, they actually are going
They are.
to.
Yeah, it's multimedia.
Yeah. So Disney is,
Oh yeah, there is Marvel right here.
yeah. The Disney's
definitely.
moving forward before moving backwards in the Star Wars timeline. So they said 200 years before any of the movies.
Yeah, and it's
do y'all think about this?
one big canon. So it's like they're expanding the universe,
It's a man canon.
and it's all canon, and they're letting multiple medias tell the story. So you got novels. That looks like I scrolled down. There's some books from IDW. There's some long form novels. This looks like a kids illustrated one as well, and then there's a Marvel one. So they're talking about the Jedi Council being in their prime, and there's this new super team of villains called the Nile or something like that. Nihl.
Yeah, Neil.
Yeah, and they're and so the crux for the new meeting, they all met at Skywalker Ranch and had this big lore meeting for this expanded universe, this new universe, and the quotations for the meeting is what could scare the Jedi. So what could scare the Jedi in their prime? This is when the Jedi Council was the be all end all,
Wearing a
right?
Star Wars
The,
shirt.
the Knights of Ren, they were so good.
No, I don't want to sidetrack us. I'm going to real quick though.
Uh-huh.
The guy who co-wrote Endgame started with the Chronicles of Narnia movies. Those movies are not good at all.
The first one wasn't that bad.
The first one wasn't
Yeah,
bad.
well, yeah.
2 and 3 are bad. Objectively,
I
2
never
and
watched
3 are
2 or 3.
objectively bad. And then his next movie was Captain America. What you did
Right.
before isn't directly in indicative of what you will make.
Well, it's not a
You can have
guarantee.
flops, but when you come out swinging and you're missing, then you have a problem.
Sure. But he came out and swung 3 times and was kind of successful once. And then wrote Endgame.
Well,
Just
back to the Star Wars.
sorry, back to Star
I'm
back to the Star
I'm
Wars.
excited. I'm excited for it because for me, the most interesting thing about Star Wars is the Force and the Jedi. and this seems to me like this is going to be a big payoff for people who are into that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I know a lot of people that are only interested in Star Wars when the lightsabers come out.
Yep.
I mean, that's the big draw to me. It's
Yeah.
always been the lightsaber fights, the Force, and as a kid watching it or a teenager watching it, because that's when I first started as a teenager, was wanting to have the Force, wanting to use
Yeah.
the Force. You know what I'm saying? Like this.
Yeah.
To this day, if I go into a grocery store with the doors that open automatically, I'll put my hand out a little bit. To this day, I'll do a quick little wave. So, yeah, I'm excited for it. I think it's gonna be awesome, and it's gonna give them the opportunity to, maybe make some more movies that way that go that way and explore more into it. Because after Skywalker's, what's left, right?
Yeah.
Like after the Skywalker sagas, now that we know that it's over, what's next? Let's ramp up the Jedi. Let's ramp up the Force. Let's ramp up the Sith, and really make a huge enough universe that you can keep the story going for another 40 years.
Yeah. 100%.
And don't center it around a family.
Yeah, please don't. Center it around. You can do the fucking Avengers thing. And I know I don't want them to actually do that, but center it around a team that can change and has interchangeable members and who has members who go off and do shit on their own. There's a fucking Wookiee with a lightsaber in some of the art. Yeah. I want to know all about that motherfucker. Let's go.
I mean, I think that's why The Mandalorian is so successful, because it is giving us more chapters on this existing characters.
Yeah.
It's giving us more backstory, more detail. Like you say, The Mandalorian, you think of one person now, despite the fact that it's actually a group of people.
Yeah, and he's not actually from Mandalore even. He's a Mandalorian, but he's not. He was adopted, which is dope. Like, that's super dope.
Super dope.
So I guess because not all of us have the same level of Star Wars knowledge. I know Ben's read some books. Tech, have you read any of the Star Wars books?
Mm-hmm.
I've read books.
Okay, I read some of the Jedi Apprentice books in middle school, and then largely let them go, and haven't read any Star Wars shit since then. And Ryan, I don't know if you've read any Star Wars books. So without getting into a dick swinging contest to how much we know about Star Wars lore, we've all seen all the Star Wars movies.
Mm-hmm.
What movie haven't we seen that we want to see, that we might get to see now?
Well, let me preface that by telling you what's coming, and then maybe that'll help us speculate.
Sure.
Perhaps.
Sure.
So we know Rian Johnson's getting his own trilogy.
Do we know that for sure still?
Yeah. This is on GamesRadar.com 2 days ago. Rian Johnson is still getting an unannounced trilogy that he says, quote, new characters from a corner of the galaxy that Star Wars lore has never been explored. Okay.
Love it.
And then they gave Kevin Feige a movie as well.
That's right, they did.
Yeah. But we don't know anything about it. And then just announced a couple days ago is the Jay Dillard Star Wars movie on Exegol about the Sith. You see that? There's a whole movie. A whole movie supposed to take place.
Yeah, I saw that.
About the Sith. Yeah.
I wonder if this would be part of the High Order. Like if they'll go 200 years back and be like, "What are the Jedi afraid of?" Here's a movie about all bad guys. Can Disney do that? Could Disney make a Sith movie?
Two Thanos movies. Yeah, they can do. I think they can.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's heroes in the Thanos
they had kids
movies.
crying at the end of Infinity War.
Yeah, because fucking people
crying.
got dusty.
Hey, I cried at Toy Story 3, so.
I definitely cried at
Disney.
Toy Story.
Disney can make you cry.
Yeah, they can get you. They can get your heart.
Y'all, I was going to college when Toy Story 3 came out, and I saw it in a theater with my mom, and the movie's about Andy growing up and going to college and giving his toys away.
Right.
And, it was the worst. My mom was sobbing. I was, man, there's a moment in that movie where they're in a trash compactor, and they're all going to die.
They held hands. That's the moment I lost it.
I was like, are they going to do this?
I looked over. I was with my then girlfriend and her kids, and I looked over, and I seen this dude on a date. He was crying. I was like, yeah, I'm letting this go. I'm letting these real tears go, dude.
Okay, let's go.
Is this 3 or 4?
3.
3, yeah.
I haven't seen 4 yet.
Four's alright.
It's on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we know what's coming. We know what we've had. We know what we haven't gotten. Now, what do we want?
That's a good question. I definitely just want. Okay, so as far as Star Wars is concerned, for the most part, the Jedi's been back against the rope, right? Like that was
Yeah.
kind of the whole point of all the movies is that the Jedi's backs are against the ropes, they're dwindling. I want to see what it's like in a universe where they flourish, and then have conflict.
Yeah. Yeah. I want like Game of Thrones scale battle of just like hundreds of Jedi and hundreds of Sith fighting in a war. And I know that's probably endgame material we won't get for several years of them building these movies up to some kind of conflict. But it's the High Republic, and like, okay, here you go. I got a question for y'all. What did you guys think about the lightsaber fights in this most recent trilogy?
I had no problems with them. I liked them a lot. I think they felt direct and intentional, without a lot of flourish.
The Last Jedi had the best, I think.
Yeah.
Especially when they were fighting in Snoke's chamber.
Oof, yes.
Like that was some good stuff going on there.
Yeah.
I could ruin that for you. There's a video out there that shows fight choreographers and stunt guys critiquing it.
Yeah, I saw that video.
There's a lot of like superfluous movements in there that you don't see until they point it out, and then that kind of ruins the fight. So if you don't want that fight ruined, don't go watch that video.
If you microanalyze every movie fight scene, you're gonna probably catch those little mistakes.
Except for
Yes,
Chris Evans.
however,
Except for Chris Evans, that dude.
there are some that hold up to all of it. There's some fight scenes that are just fucking flawless with no problems.
Some people get it right.
Yep, they do exist. Winter Soldier comes to mind.
Yes. Winter Soldier's fight scenes.
Right.
So I had a problem with them for one reason, and I think it's probably gonna alienate people, but like I grew up with the originals, of course, but like the foundational Star Wars movies for me that were like I really fuck with this were the prequel trilogy, because I was 9, 10, 11, 12 years old when those movies came out.
And those lightsaber fights were fucking bananas.
And those fights were fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan and Anakin fight for 30 full fucking minutes in the third one. And it's fast and intense and violent and like at the end they're both sweaty fucking heaping dirty messes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely enjoyed the third one more than the first two.
And there was none of that.
The fight with Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan against Darth Maul.
Yep.
Like Darth Maul's kicking him down like layers of these small platforms where they could die at any second if they fell off. Like they're landing hard on the ground, and like I don't know, the fighting wasn't the sword fight was pretty good. I mean, it wasn't like fantastic, but you know, it's the first time you see a dual lightsaber and him fighting two people. Like that's insane.
Like, suddenly where he puts the blade out and goes down, and the other one comes out. I was like,
yeah.
We also got to see Yoda fight.
We did.
That was
Almighty Zing saying Yoda bouncing off the walls, like he's like all nimbly like a little kid, like what?
Yeah.
Higgledy-piggledy.
But yeah, that era of Star Wars combat was all about flash and flourish without purpose, and that, like Zing said, who cares? It looks cool. That's the prequel combat to me. Who cares? It looks cool. Because there's a scene right after Qui-Gon dies, spoilers, when the shield drops, and then Obi-Wan does this like 3-second long flourish. He's like, woo, 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 crash, and then like Maul's just standing there waiting for him to finish. We could have just gone like, just like he did to his master. You know, there's a lot of flourish for no point, just because it looks and of course sounds cool. But that's all to me. Now I recognize the original trilogy's fights were weak, real weak, except when Luke cut his dad's hand off. That was great and fun, fucking monumental. But like, you know, you're master of evil, it's just like, you know, nothing, right? Real like classic samurai Kurosawa nod and all that, which is what they were going for. And then they went the extreme opposite direction for the prequels, which is just all flourish. And then I think with the modern trilogy, they toned it back down and gave us the best of both. We got the Kurosawa nod with Luke versus Kylo, right, where they're both just swung maybe 3 times tops. That was fucking epic. But then you had the Kylo versus Rey fights where they're actually sparring, and I think
she's changing stances in that fight too. Like she switches it up 3 or 4 times.
The fight on the wrecked Death Star in the ocean, I thought was fucking great, and it was so great that it just looked like Rey just couldn't do anything to win. Kylo just had her from the start. He was
Yeah,
so
and then at
superior in
the
that
end when
fight.
he fights his Knights of Ren and is like
Yeah.
blocking them behind his back, you're like, yo, this dude fucking
Yeah, he's got
he's
it.
good. This
Yeah.
dude's
We needed more fighting from him before he died.
That's
Like,
because
read
Rey
Kylo
trained
Ren,
on a
dude.
farm.
There you go, Tech.
Am I right, Tech?
I guess.
Ray absolutely trained on a farm.
Absolutely did.
Right, and Kylo did not.
Yep.
But yeah, so I think
you-
the modern trilogy is the best of both. It's not all flash and flourish, and
I
it's
think
not
that's
like,
on purpose. It was complete
For sure.
service to me.
Yeah, have you seen the cutscenes from like Star Wars: The Old Republic?
have I seen it? What are you saying?
The cutscenes from Star Wars: The Old Republic?
Oh yeah,
Because those lightsaber fights are fucking incredible.
yeah, they're very good.
And then
I've also
they're
seen
like
some
a
very good
Jedi-
fan movies too.
They're like a Jedi taking on 3 Sith.
Yeah,
And like pulling one of their lightsabers out of their hands to kill one of them,
Mm-hmm.
and then like, man, that I want that shit. I want Jedi with 2 lightsabers fighting people and throwing a lightsaber and then still fighting and then catching it to fight again. Like,
But here's a
I
question:
I want Jackie Chan level lightsaber fights.
right.
Can they do that in the universe they established? Can they have someone so OP that we would have heard about him, or them, or her? You know what I'm saying? Like in the all the movies that we've gotten so far. Like, can they go that grandiose with the characters?
I think you
I think
can.
they could have with the prequels because they all ended up dying. So
Well, also by the time we
Right.
get to like A New Hope, most people have forgotten about the Jedi. By the time we get to Force Awakens, a lot of people don't believe it was real.
right,
Like we're talking like 40-year gaps in between each one, and in that time, and you also got to think the galaxy is a huge place. Someone brought this up recently on a podcast where they were like, "How could someone not know about Jedi?" And then they were like, "Yo, this is an Outer Rim world where the Empire wasn't even a thing,
right,
so they
Yeah.
could have completely missed the Jedi."
right.
And so
They
like,
have different histories.
yeah.
Yeah,
And so, like, I think it would be dope if we get to see the High Order of the Jedi doing shit that no one ever gets to hear, no one ever knew about in the movies we've seen already.
sure. I want, since you asked, more Sith. Because they're always the boogeyman, and unless you read the books or the comics or play the games, you never see them.
I would like to see that expanded. I want to see the
Like, why are we so afraid of them?
yeah. I want to see the student kills the master be explained, because I feel like
Yeah,
most people don't know that. You know, like your casual movie fans would know that the student of the Sith apprentice always kills the master. Like they always kind of live their lives leading up to that moment,
Yeah.
and that's not a common knowledge thing, and it should be.
Strike me down, and your path to the dark side will be complete.
Strike me down. Strike me down. Dark side.
yeah. So I want more Sith. I want more balance, and not that ends the timeline, because the balance in the prequels was okay. Everybody dies now, but
Yeah.
I don't understand why
the
the
High
Sith.
Order of the Jedi, it has to be the High Order of the Sith too.
Yeah, I just don't understand why.
Yo, what scares the Jedi at their strongest
Yeah,
is what they're going for with this. And with the art book that came out for Rise of Skywalker, they confirmed that Darth Revan is canon. And
that's wild.
I want just a Sith that just fucking murders Jedi, left and right. Like they keep sending people at him. And the tech that kind of goes to your OP question. I want to see Jedi fighting like that, but that means that the Sith have to be that good too.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to see Sith like mid-fight force choking someone and crushing their fucking throat and just being like, I'm not even gonna worry about using my sword on you.
I think a lightsaber fight has to be done by the best artists in the comic book industry, because that cannot. I don't even want to do it. Like, that sounds impossible. Like, I don't know. Comics is so interpretational. Like, you're looking at a thing, does it make sense, and what kind of action?
I'm talking about
Like, what-
movies. I don't know about comics.
Yeah, but this thing, the High Order, is all novels and comics. So
Novel's easy. obviously novel's going to be easy, right? But
Right.
comic books, I don't know. I can't even visualize how
Right.
you can portray a good lightsaber fight via comic.
Now, I'm also guilty of not reading many of them because Caleb's dad has read a lot of them, and he says it's the reason why Vader's is one of his favorites because all the comics make him absolutely terrifying. Like, to the people who read the books and the comics, that scene in Rogue One where Vader's terrifying, they're like, yeah, we've been reading about this for a long time. Guys, this is Vader. Vader's a fucking terrifying force of nature.
I want that.
Right.
That's what I want. I want to see
So,
that.
so apparently that does happen in the comics. So
Yeah.
maybe we're all just blissfully ignorant.
So outside of High Order, because we're getting movies that aren't going to be in that, I guess. It's hard to tell if the High Order phase they're going into applies to their movies too. I hope it does.
I would think so because the game we just got is canon. So
Yes.
why wouldn't a series that they're creating for books and comics be more canon?
Well, they'll be canon, but what's to say
I-
that they're not going to make movies in different
They-
eras than the High Order?
Right. Right.
They are because they're very strategic with everything they do, right?
Mhm.
Sure.
Like they created the child to sell toys and bring people in and to be adorable. Like they're very calculated. They're not just gonna do this huge rollout on these books and not make it a bigger thing. You know?
Yeah.
I think they're beyond just this cool thing over here. Like
Yeah.
they're going for the world entertainment domination.
So they're leaking this story out.
The reason I bring that up is I want more war stories and less Jedi stories too. I want more Rogue Ones. Like
Rogue
give me
One's
a
good.
give me a Band of Brothers style
Yeah.
movie or show about stormtroopers or not stormtroopers or stormtroopers. Let's do it. Or clone soldiers during the Clone Wars, like going through some shit.
Oh yeah, I would love a Republic Commando movie. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Bunch of
Yeah.
guys like a squad of 10 or 15 at the beginning of the show, and by the end of the show 2 or 3 guys make it out,
Yeah.
but they did their job or whatever.
I
don't know.
think we're on the way to that. I think like Rogue One success, the conclusion of the Skywalker saga. I think it all is going to lead to like the true universe of Star Wars that we're going to get. And I think
Yeah.
this
Now
is
that Skywalkers are out of the way.
yeah, I think this is the first step
Yeah.
of it. I think
Yeah.
which is it makes sense. They're going to test things out and they're going to see what works. But I think we're on our way to these type of movies because Rogue
Yeah.
One is arguably one of my favorite Star Wars movies.
So good.
Fight me on it.
Fight. Let's go. Ryan,
know?
what do you want to see? Do you want to see more Jedi, or do you want to see like bounty hunters and smugglers, or like what? I don't know. What,
I want to see what builds up to be the first,
What do you mean?
like the first Jedi or in the first Sith.
Like someone
fuck.
finding midichlorians or
Like
whatever.
the guy discovering the Force and learning it?
Yeah, the one that like that started it all.
That's awesome.
No one's gonna do that.
I
That's so-
feel. I don't know. I feel like they talk like Luke was so like passionate about like the sacred texts and like freaked out whenever he was burning it. It's like who the fuck wrote those? Like who was
Funny
the
that
first
Yoda made
one
fun of
that
him
like
because Yoda made fun of him and said, "Did you read them?" He's like, "Oh, "No,
yeah.
It's-
That's an intimidating task. Whoever has that task to make that's intimidating.
right."
Because they
Yeah.
have
Right.
like that's if you fuck that up, dude, you're done.
Yeah.
We should
But
get a
I
guy
don't know.
like Hellboy to do
I
it.
feel like that would be the origin story to I don't know to start it all off,
Yeah.
and then build off of that one back like start there and build forward in time back to the originals.
Y'all, did they call Ryan Johnson's movie The Last Jedi because they plan on making a first Jedi?
That'd be awesome.
That'd be sick.
That'd be amazing.
But I doubt it. I doubt they did that on purpose, but it would be sick. If they
Like
did.
crafting the first lightsaber, like somebody building the first lightsaber, like that would be a sick montage, like part of the film.
Yeah, like the Iron Man montage of him building his suit in captivity. Fucking
Right.
this dude building a lightsaber and fucking it up like 20 times over the course of
Yep.
a montage while Eye of the Tiger plays in the background.
Tony Stark's the first Jedi. I'm just kidding. He's just. Caleb's like, what?
Let's do it. Let's do it. Robert Downey Jr., Jedi RDJ.
So this book here, The Jedi Path, It was signed
Hold
by Luke Skywalker, Darth Sidious, Ahsoka, Anakin, Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, Dooku.
Doko.
I don't know this one. Thame Cerulean and Yoda. It's pretty cool. But it says the Jedi Path is one of the most amazing discoveries made since the opening of the new Jedi Academy. It was found among the artifacts recently acquired from the Squib salvage scow near the whatever. Historians estimate the text was set down a decade or more after the end of the new Sith Wars in 1000 BBY. Okay.
1000, baby.
Yeah.
Before Baby Yoda?
Its authors, Jedi Masters of the Age, used the changed political structure and newfound peace of as an impetus to codify the role of the Jedi Order and to establish traditions that endured for centuries. So anyway.
So we gotta get that. We gotta get the Great Sith War.
Yeah.
Also, to go back to Tech's point a while back, when Tech was like, the Jedi always have their back against the wall. Dude, why the fuck is that a thing? Like, in like the I don't know, the one with Anakin, like that trilogy, like Yoda was like, let me think on this. And like they're always thinking ahead and everything like that, and they're always like 100 steps behind.
It's like
Sure.
the
Like
good,
how
the
Go
good
ahead.
people in the good place, the show The Good Place, like people from heaven, like they're always just like not making decisions and not like acting on
Yeah.
anything and just want to meet about it.
Yeah.
That's the Jedi.
Thoughts
that
and
I know.
prayers.
Yeah.
Thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, Yoda's like, I don't feel right about this. Well, Yoda, did you fucking feel anything about the whole, like, they turned this whole army against you and killed 99% of your Jedis? Like, you didn't have any idea that was happening in the background, but no, you don't feel right about Anakin. That one small thing at the
Oh,
time.
hey, check this out. The Force is timeless, but we Jedi have not always been present to interpret its teaching. Centuries before the founding of the Republic, our predecessors first heard the Force's call on the deep core world of Tython. The seers of Tython knew the energy field as the Ashla, but understood it in much the same way we do today, as a source of wisdom, regenerative pool from which to draw strength, and a way to move objects without touching them. Yet those seers who used their abilities in the service of hatred and greed fell into darkness. The Force Wars of Tython are the earliest recorded conflicts between the light and the dark, battles that would be mirrored over centuries as the Jedi and the Sith cross blades.
Yo, if we get an Avatar: The Last Airbender about Sith kids, Jedi and Sith kids.
On the world to Tython, just figuring out what this mysterious force is, some going bad, some going good. There you
What
go.
I don't want to see is a coming of age story. I don't want to see anyone develop their skills. Just throw me into the action, throw me into the fray
Yes.
of the
100%.
most
You
skilled.
know, I love it when movies just throw me into the shit. Like that Tom Cruise movie, the Live, Die, Repeat, but it was also called, what, The Edge of Tomorrow or something?
Edge of Tomorrow.
We
Yeah.
we're in a war,
give it
and
to
shit's
me.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Throw me
love
right
it.
into shit.
Yep.
That
I don't
movie
wanna hear-
starts you like the day the war ends. It's like, yep, this is when humanity gets fucked. And then
Yeah.
they're like, actually, I love that movie so much.
Yeah, people wouldn't like the Force Wars, though, because they fought with swords, not lightsabers.
I would fuck with sword fighting with force. Fuck yeah.
That would be kind of hard.
That'd be dope.
Yeah.
That'd be dope. I would fuck with it. I just
There's our answer right there, though. That's pretty cool.
Yo, I want more Star Wars games too.
Yeah, fuck
We
yeah.
all play games. We all play games. What Star Wars game don't you have that you want?
A For Honor Star Wars.
Fuck yeah.
Done.
Ryan, they made one on PlayStation 1. It's called The Masters of Terras Kasai. You should play it on your stream.
Isn't
It's
that
awful.
just like a Street Fighter Star Wars game?
Yeah, it's awful.
Okay.
And there's a character called Whore.
Oh, Matty Zing says he wants a pod racer game. I'd be down for that.
Yeah.
I would 100% not be down for that, dude. I am the biggest pod racer hater that you've ever met, dude.
It's true.
First viewing in the theaters, I fell asleep at the pod racing scene. I fucking hate pod racers.
Yo, I was
Flat
like
out.
9 and had the biggest boner the whole time.
He's
It's like, this is incredible.
Yeah, I love that scene a lot.
like, what is this? What is this? I don't know.
What's happening?
That's funny. I think the second time I saw the movie, I fell asleep again at the pod racer scenes. Like, I legit hate it. Legit.
I know, but the game on N64 was sick. I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love the Star
I
Wars.
think I
racing.
played it once and I fell asleep while I was playing it.
Yeah, I was also like 9, so you were like 29.
Oh, thanks.
Bogus.
That was
Bogus. Brian's like, weren't you napping age anyway?
It's 11 a.m. Time for my nap.
Stupid.
Ben, we're the same age. You can't laugh at this either, dude.
I know.
Ben doesn't have an internal monologue. He doesn't know what's happening.
Just listening. Nothing in
11 nap. I listened to that one. That was so funny.
Nice.
Oh.
Hey, we're cross pollinating.
So what else, Ben? You were about to say you wanted to see something.
I don't know. The recent game is pretty great. I do want. I don't know. It's hard to say. It's such a big universe. You could have a Star Wars game be so many things. And we got the Force Unleashed. Those games were great.
They are. I want a multiplayer, like a really like. I know Battlefront, whatever. I want a better multiplayer experience.
Yeah.
What kind of multiplayer experience? Shooter, Force, lightsaber.
I want 100% Force game.
Yeah.
Multiplayer game. No shooting. I don't want to be a fucking stormtrooper or a rebel. Like I want to be. I play those games for the moment that I can be one of the heroes. Or
They should give us a PvP game that you make your own character, light side or dark, or gray. Fuck it, go gray. Well, if gray is, somebody needs to declare if gray is canon. But let's say if it is, you can go gray, and then you pick your powers, and it's all balanced, so you can't be like a level 50 Jedi and whooping on a level 1, right? You have your set number. You can re-roll as often as you want, and you duke it out. You got 15 different lightsaber styles, unlimited different lightsaber combinations to make your own lightsaber, 20 different force powers to pick from. It'd be like a card game. You bring your own cards into the battle. I got force push, force lightning, force jump, and force speed.
And then you build your teams based on the skill sets that you may have, right?
Yeah.
You got a healer, you got a shield guy, you got a brute, and you got a stealth guy.
Just like a 4-player co-op,
With
like
face
adventure
cam,
game, where you're. Yes.
The best part of the original Battlefront 2 was the games that I got to play as heroes only, and there was like freaking 20 people as Sith and Jedi just running around fucking each other up.
Insane.
Like you could be like Boba Fett and Han, and nobody was playing as those. They were just playing as Jedis and Siths, and it was fun.
You can play Battlefront and play Heroes mode.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it's limited, isn't it? You can only play like 4v4. On the original
smaller.
Battlefront 2, it was like 8-on-8 or something like that, and it was so much better on like bigger maps and everything.
Zing might have hit my main vein with this one. He wants more Rogue Squadron games, and fuck yes, please.
Yo, Ben.
Right, I know.
I'm wearing a Rogue Squadron fucking shirt.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, dogfights, yes.
Yes.
Or just remaster X-Wing and TIE Fighter and put it together.
TIE Fighter, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Like why we don't have a Star Wars dogfighting game in this era of video gaming, and I don't like the recent Battlefront dogfighting. It's not
Are
good.
those type of games even popular? Like the Ace Combat flying games, are they even popping? 20 years ago they were.
I think that might be the wrong question though, because we're talking about earlier, just to bring the conversation full circle, I guess. We were talking about DC not needing to have everything be a fucking commercial, huge box office boom, because other things will take the spot, will carry the load of that. I think the best version of Star Wars we get is Star Wars that understands we got to make some shit that only a few people are going to like, and it's going to be justified by the shit that we make that a ton of people like.
Yeah.
We're going to get a fucking horror Doctor Strange movie that is absolutely going to be supported by the fact that Marvel is successful in many other places. And the reason that's happening is because they're willing to take that risk. And I think more Star Wars is better Star Wars. That's just it.
Who else is making space fighting spaceships or sky fighting games?
They're out there. It's a huge
a
huge demographic.
And that's why I don't think Star Wars wants to gamble
They
with that.
they helped create it though.
But are they? But is it worth the risk?
Yeah.
Niche
No.
versus something everyone else can get into.
No,
That's
The
so-
bottom line is money at the end of the day,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a huge market,
Or they can
and
make
there's a
they can
lot
make
of
the game,
people like me out there still that would buy it up for sure.
or they can make the game they make and have that as a feature.
Sure,
That's it.
sure.
What they're doing.
Yep. If they just did it a little differently in Battlefront, it would be that. But I don't like the way Battlefront did it. So
Yeah, if Battlefront wasn't trying so hard to appeal to all ages, and was like, nah, if you want to be in the dogfight mode, you gotta know how to fly a fucking thing. It would have been better. But instead, it was like, move left, and your ship will roll and yaw and pitch for you, so you can turn
right,
by just moving the stick.
it's
and
it's flying for dummies.
I
Yeah.
want battlefield controls. I want to throttle on one stick. I want to
Yeah.
roll and pitch on the other stick. I want yaw on my trigger. I want to be able to do that shit. Good talk.
Yes, I agree. Yes,
I just
that.
let it go.
Yes,
Just sit there.
I want Star Wars fucking everything, man. I want a Star Wars city builder. I want a Star Wars RTS like Halo Wars.
Like, what's the game that I like to play?
City Skylines.
Skylines.
Yeah,
But that'd be.
but
sick.
on Tatooine.
Yeah.
This is left field, but I love the city buildings and I love the evolution games. So you start off as a small village, and then all of a sudden you have to build all the way up until like a galactic Star Wars fleet.
Yeah.
What if you could just read a game where you build the Star Wars universe, where it starts?
Like you build it.
Yeah,
You
where
start
it
from
starts,
nothing.
and you're like, once you get to a certain year, it's like, yo, the Force has been discovered. You have two factions forming. And like,
You can mine crystals for lightsabers.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Almighty Zing says Cloud City Skylines.
That's such a good.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. I
Oh
love
yeah.
it. Fuck
Oh,
yeah. I want a Halo Wars or Command and Conquer style RTS. I want X. I want a,
We've had those in the past.
yeah, it's called
Empire
at
War.
War. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want a Star Wars XCOM. Badly.
Sure.
I want a Rainbow Six that's Star Wars. I want Star Wars fucking everything. Star Wars Battle Royale. What was the one we came up with last time, Ryan? Could we call
Fuck, I don't know.
call it the Trials of Mandalore? And it's Mandalorian younglings get dropped into an arena and have to survive. And
Oh
fight each
yeah,
other?
yeah. Yeah, you have to like find the armor and stuff like that. That's what your armor is, like the Mandalorian armor.
Yeah, you put
And then
it
you
on-
just
That'd be hard.
And like the yellow armor for the Apex tie-in is like the Beskar steel. So someone shoots at how dope would it be to know how armored someone is by shooting a laser bolt at them and it's like and just ricochets.
Yeah.
You're just like, fuck, you gotta turn around and go because that guy's wearing fucking Beskar.
you find the jetpacks and shit. You can just actually just fly around. That'd be so much cooler.
The fucking songbirds or whatever that he has on his wrist that
Mhm.
can. Woo. So what I'm hearing is we all want more of the shit we're not getting. We all want more Star
And that's
Wars.
how it's going to continue to be.
Yeah, we all want
All the
more-
stuff that we talk about that we would love,
we'll never-
honestly, will probably never exist. And that's the shitty part about it.
Here's hoping that EA
A new hope.
Shut up. I hate you. Here's hoping that EA's contract with Star Wars titles expires eventually, and they can fix that shit.
EA is a monster when it comes to taking over licenses and not letting anyone else do anything.
Yeah.
They've destroyed football video games because of it.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And here's hoping that whatever they said they're announcing a bunch more sports games this year, and I'm curious. We know we're getting a new Fight Night. I think we're getting college sports again.
I like those games back in the day.
Fight Night games are dope.
Yeah, they were fun.
Yeah.
I played a
Yeah.
lot of them.
They got really good physics for boxing games that were on 360.
No, they're fun. They're definitely fun.
Yeah.
I want some more. I want more street sport games
NFL Street, NBA Street.
like NFL Street. All
Well,
those.
I think they've tried with NBA Playground, and I just don't think they're as successful. I mean,
Who was that back in the day? Was it Exhibit or Ludacris that was on NFL Street?
Yeah,
One of those
I mean,
two?
those games were amazing.
Yeah, I enjoyed the hell out of those.
All that
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah, but they outside of controlling Madden, in the sports world, they just don't have anything. They can't do anything good outside of Madden. FIFA, of course, FIFA's always going to be FIFA, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
outside
And
of that,
FIFA,
like
what's the
Excuse me.
FIFA Street mode they just introduced?
Futsal.
No, it's not that. Fuck. They've got like a whole separate mode in FIFA 20 that's dedicated to Street, where you can like create your own character and customize them.
Oh.
And I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, they had
Volta. It's
FIFA
called
Street on
Volta.
360.
Yeah, it's called
Mhm.
Volta.
that's cool. They
Um,
didn't even make NBA Live this year. Like they canceled it,
yeah,
That's crazy. That's so crazy to me.
and they've done that in past years where they just like, oh, we just can't do it. We
Yeah.
can't.
yeah. And then apparently they're bringing. They're
No
bringing
reason
one this
to.
year.
There's no reason to.
I hope EA makes a baseball game, but I also found out that MLB The Show is going to be on Xbox next year, so
They don't need to.
don't know if I care. Yeah,
Yeah.
MLB The Show's the shit. Yeah, I don't know. EA could easily lose the Star Wars license, I think, because Disney has the power to say, you don't get it anymore. Who do you think? Oh man, we're running.
That also means Respawn wouldn't have another whack at it if they take it from EA.
Or Disney could sell the license to specific studios
Yeah.
instead of a publisher and just go make it whatever you want.
Italian Disney.
Who do you? Yes, Disney. Who do you want? Last question and quick answer. What studio do you want to make a Star Wars game that hasn't?
Turn 10.
Fuck yeah! Fuck yeah!
Make that pod racers from Turn 10 make pod racing game. I dig
Smuggler's
it.
Run.
I do it.
Criterion.
Yep.
Criterion, yeah. Criterion. Oh, dude, a Burnout Star Wars game. Yes. All right, Ben.
Boy, I don't know.
Ryan, Turn 10's a good one. For real.
Yeah.
I was like, who
I was
makes a
thinking.
Star
I was
Wars
thinking
game?
Forza the whole time. I was talking about pod racers. I was like, yeah, they need that.
Yeah, for sure.
Platinum Games.
Devil May Cry guys.
No, they did a really cool third-person shooter game called Vanquish, and then
Oh
they
fuck
did,
yeah.
did Bayonetta games. I guess Ninja Theory. That'd be amazing, right?
Ninja Theory would be dope.
Yeah. But Platinum Games is really good at combat. So, no, they did Nier Automata as well. But yeah.
Tech.
I'm gonna go and say, I'd want to see what 2K would do with it.
Interesting.
I like them a lot. I've always liked them. They've always had a special place in my heart. They've done other things all over the place.
Yeah, Borderlands
So-
is a 2K property.
Yeah.
Technically, technically, Rockstar is under 2K.
I want to see what they would do with it, just because I trust them as a publisher.
Yeah.
And I mean, and it would just be different. They'd put their own spin on it.
Yeah. I think I definitely want Harebrained Schemes to make a Star Wars game, but that's not gonna resonate with really anybody in here because not many people play. I guess City Skylines is a Harebrained Schemes joint.
Gotcha.
They make city builders and 4X
Did you say
games.
joint?
Yeah.
Is that weird?
Yes. How 90s of you?
Yes, I tried very hard to be very 90s. Bethesda?
No.
No,
Gross.
just kidding.
No.
Never mind.
Yeah.
No. What's the fucking Naughty Dog? I want Naughty Dog to make a Star Wars game.
We just got a Naughty Dog Star Wars game.
I mean, not.
That's
Yeah,
I mean, basically, yeah. It was Uncharted, basically, through and through. Not to say that's the only thing Naughty Dog can do, but
No, I meant old school Naughty Dog. I want a Crash Bandicoot style Star Wars game.
Jesus.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't
Rockstar needs to do it. Need to make Rock Star Wars.
what
Like
about-
like a GTA of Star Wars. Like,
mean,
I think that'd be pretty incredible, and make it like a few, make it at least a few planets.
Well, I mean, yeah,
Like
an
4
open,
planets. Yeah, open world like space, and then you can land. Yeah, there's like I don't know, maybe 12 or 15 ports in the whole game, but like
yo,
make them pretty good, like
yeah,
pretty big. You can actually fly there.
I
yeah.
want CD Projekt Red to make a Star Wars game.
I thought of that. Yeah,
Yep. Can you imagine Cyberpunk, but it's a Star Wars game? You
right.
get to create a fucking Jedi Padawan and do it. I just want a Star Wars RPG. I want to create a character that can go through a story that I can impact like Mass Effect.
Oh, just playing Old Republic. It's actually really good.
Just give BioWare Star Wars back.
Play Old Republic, the MMO. It's awesome.
All right, I'll give it a
Yeah,
shot.
you make your own character, and all the dialogue is recorded, and it looks good. It's fun. Yeah, I played it for a couple of days. It was great. I'd love to play with somebody.
Yeah. Zing says he wants Retro Studios to make a Metroid Prime style bounty hunter game.
Yeah.
I'm 100% down for that as well. We are approaching the end of our show, and before we go around and tell everybody what we've been playing that we want people to get into, Ben, do you have a Smurf fact for us?
Not queued up, but if you give me 50 seconds.
All right. Well, Smurf facts is something we do right before we end the show. Tech, I don't know if you watch the show. I don't know why I was
Watch it all
going
the time.
to explain it to you. So yes, for those of you who don't know, at the end of the show we give you a little fun fact to take home and chew on. Last week we talked about snakes feeling earthquakes, and I thought that was bullshit, and it scared me. But it's true, I guess. So Ben, searching for that now. Do you have it?
Got it.
All right, let me play the little intro right now. That's our Smurf Facts song.
Smurf facts, oh yeah.
Boom. You guys can't hear it, so don't worry. But the stream can hear it, and it'll be in the podcast when people listen to it later. Ben, what is our Smurf fact?
The Eiffel Tower is 15 centimeters taller in the summer because of thermal expansion.
What I'm hearing is the City
Because
of
it's-
Love's main monument gets a little bit of a summer boner.
Yeah, that's right. So it's all made out of iron, and iron grows with heat. So large structures such as bridges are built with expansion joints, which allow them leeway to expand and contract without causing any damage. So, isn't that cool?
That's fucking bananas.
Yeah.
That it's like 15 centimeters higher in the summer.
Yep.
I wish.
Thanks, global warming. Shit. All right. Well, now that we know the Eiffel Tower is really just it's a shower, not a grower. Does anybody have any bounties they want to share with anybody? Bounties are what we're reading, watching, listening to, or playing that we think other people should get into. Tech, you're our guest. Why don't you lead off?
Big surprise, I'm playing Apex Legends.
What?
Big surprise there. And NHL 20. That's about it.
Is
As far
NHL
as-
20 good?
Oh yeah, so it's consistently good every year. It's yeah, it's fun.
Fuck a year though, right?
Well, I mean they do make the same game every year with minor tweaks.
Sure. Yeah, that's
but
just sports games, dude.
It's just sports games.
Yeah, for sure. Reading anything, listening to anything, watching anything that you want to share?
Not really listening to anything new right now, such as like random songs. No, not reading any books. That's bad. TV, I'm just can't stop watching 60 Days In right now and Live PD. I don't know why. That's just what's happening with me. Like that's just all day, every day. So first of all, if you haven't seen 60 Days In, it's 100% fascinating.
What's 60
People-
days in?
Yeah, you guys never watched it?
No.
I think, yeah, where they go to prison, right?
Yeah, they go to prison for
Yeah.
60 days. Like regular people go to prison so
They
can,
choose to go.
They choose to go to prison, but of course, no one knows that they're in jail. Like even the correctional officers don't know their plants, and because under the guise of some just prison documentary, and it gets dicey. It's crazy entertaining. So,
Yeah, and like the people can give signs or whatever that like, okay, I need to get out or
yeah,
that kind of
but
thing. They gotta
yeah.
keep the secret and like deal with real life prison events going on around them
oh yeah,
until they can't handle it anymore,
till they break.
or they make it to 60 days. You know, I don't. There's been a couple people that have made it the whole 60 days, haven't they?
Yeah, there's one guy in season 3. He was in season 2 and 3 because He finished the first 60 days, and then he said, "I want to stay another 60 days," and he made it all the way through. By the
Wow.
end of it, everyone loved this guy. Like he was
Yeah.
like, like someone like did something to his tablet because they have tablets in prison, and the whole pod was trying to fuck that dude up. They was like, "You got to make the first swing," but we are all fucking him up. Like this white dude had everybody in the pod on his side. It's entertaining.
Yeah, that is interesting. Why live PD?
The
though?
only guy that wanted to go back to prison.
Yeah. Why live
He's like,
PD,
yeah,
though?
throw me back.
For some reason, I don't know, man. It's like watching cops. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
I fall down those tunnels. Like I'll see a clip on Facebook, and then like there'll be like more clips underneath of it, and I just keep
Yeah.
looking and watching and watching. I'm like 3 hours later, I'm still sitting on the toilet, like, oh shit, I gotta get up and go do something with my day.
My butt's falling out.
It amazes me how stupid people are. Like they're riding around with like no light in the back, suspended license, smoking weed, meth in the car, and
Speeding.
then like speeding, and then like trying to lie to the cop. It's entertaining.
Yeah. Sure.
The cop's like, it smells like weed in here. No, it doesn't. And then they search his car. There's like 100 pounds of weed in there. It's like, okay, it smells like
Insane
weed.
amounts.
It's not mine.
So yeah, I don't know
I
how they
always
got
say it's
there.
not mine. It's like it literally has your name on it, dude.
Brandon's weed.
Man.
Oh man.
Ben, what about you? What's your bounties for the week?
Nothing. Sorry.
All right.
Pass. I had a very hard week of work on top of work. I effectively have 3 jobs right now. It's not fun.
But you're making that money though, yeah.
Not yet.
I meant in the long term.
No, I mean these are all like my babies. So like I'm doing art, I'm teaching art, and I'm teaching fitness. So I'm actually quite happy, just very stressed. So that's awesome.
Sure.
Yeah.
Ryan, what you got, homie?
I actually got to go four-wheeling this past weekend, and that was a lot of fun. Got to get out and shoot some guns too. Had
You didn't
a
do
blast.
that while four-wheeling, did you?
No. We haven't found a way to mount them to the four-wheeler yet, so it's very
sounds
Springfield of me. It's a joke for tech. But yeah, we actually got to blow up some tannerite too. That's some fun stuff. So it's like these foam balls that you put like an explosive powder with, and like you put it like whenever you shake it up together, you put the cap back on the container and like it pressurizes itself a little bit, and then once you shoot it with a round that's hot enough to actually set it off, it'll blow up.
Cool.
But you can just buy it at like any farm and home store or whatever, and we just go out and blow about 4 or 5 pounds of it every time we go out, and it's fun.
Nice.
Blow like refrigerators and
It's like the violent,
Dishwashers up with it.
version of Burning Man.
yes.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So Mad
finally been
Max.
able to do that. Once it's starting to get warm, I'm gonna be doing that a lot more.
Yeah.
Been playing a lot of Ark because that's coming out, or the new expansion just came out. Getting that server set up, and then I think I'm playing a lot of League of Legends now too. Like I played that on stream today, and I had a blast for like 6 hours straight. So
Nice.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's awesome. I mean, watching anything?
nope,
All right. Cool beans.
I don't read either. So
Yeah, that's why I didn't ask. So I am still playing God of War. I took like a week off, kind of, for some reason, but got back into it this week. I don't want to spoil it because there are still people who haven't played it. But for those of you who have played it, I have retrieved something and am on my way to Helheim, which
Cool.
is a pretty big fucking moment in that game.
Yeah.
And I was entirely gripped by that scene. It's very, very, very good.
Yep.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
real good. And the God of War like theme plays a lot. And I got
Yeah.
goosebumps like a motherfucker. And Kratos says to somebody I know when they tell him he's a monster, and he says, "But I'm not your monster anymore," and it's so fucking good.
Yep.
It's so
Yeah,
fucking
he's
good.
talking to Athena, right?
Yeah, well, okay.
Sounds
for
great.
Keeping
I
spoilers
mean,
out of it.
if you know God of War, he would only say that to one person.
Yeah, but I didn't know that
See what-
Athena showed back up in this game.
Oh, well, I mean, okay. But if you know God of War,
Yes.
that line could only be spoken to one person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's super good. Ryan and I have been talking about getting into Stardew Valley and still haven't done it. That's
Yep.
okay. We're trying to find.
You're too caught up on Call of Duty.
I mean, yeah.
Everybody is.
That
That's
game
all
has me
anybody
by
plays
my
right now.
fucking guts, and I like it.
I play a lot.
Yeah. I'm like level 35 or 40 in the battle pass already. It's been out for like 2 weeks. Anyway, reading, nothing. I need to catch up. My wife's like 7 books in already this year. It's embarrassing.
7?
Yeah. She's been reading.
I'm not even
she's
that
been reading
many
a book
for
a
the
week.
decade.
She's been reading about a book a week.
The last decade, sorry.
Tech wanted to. You could Tech's face.
Tech's
looked he wanted
Tech's
to
so
vomit.
disgusted.
Tech looked like he was about to puke. He was like.
Tech definitely hit me with the.
Listening.
Oh man.
I found a band called Surfaces through TikTok. They're pretty dope. And watching, I just started that new Amazon show with Al Pacino and Logan Lerman in it.
Hunters.
And ladies and gentlemen, that first episode fucking kicks off. Like Nazis, violence. Also, it opens on Logan Lerman's character with them walking out of a Star Wars movie, I think Empire.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really super good, and he has a really long monologue, like not long, but he has a good conversation where he like talks about how Vader isn't necessarily a bad guy because he like wakes up every day thinking he's doing what needs to be done to save the universe because he's been brainwashed into thinking that some radical kid from the desert's gonna come blow him up and all of his friends.
Right.
And it's like, yo, it's super good. So yeah, watch that. Amanda and I are watching it. I did not think she'd stick through it after a scene relatively early because it gets dark quick. And she was stuck to it. So fuck yeah, watch that. I can't say anything else. I've only seen the first episode. So if the show gets bad later, forgive me. Yeah, that's it for me. If you want to listen to the podcast and Ben's coughing. We post it on Fridays. You can find it on the website. We tweet about it. You can follow Nerdy Bits everywhere at nerdybits.com. You can follow me everywhere it's important at Lubwub. Ryan, where can people find you?
Sergeant Sodium on Mixer, Twitter, Instagram, and on Xbox.
Dope. Ben, where can people find you?
SketchSawyer.com and at SketchSawyer everywhere.
And Tech, our guest and possibly our frequent returning guest. What are you up to? Where can people find it, and where can people find you?
Well, I am up to release a new project, Grooveland EP Volume 2.
It's real good, y'all.
It's real good.
I enjoy what it's doing right now. Working on more records with people, with actual humans, so that's going to be coming up soon. People can find me at Tech Supreme on everything. At Tech Supreme.
Yeah.
And the name, spelling is right. TCH Supreme. Simple.
Dope. Perfect.
Nice.
Well, thanks for listening, everybody. We'll be online streaming something coming up here in a few minutes. But until then, and for those of you taking off, thanks for being here, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye.
Adios.
Bye-bye.
Yoink.
That last